Welcome to our channel. Today's video is about an abandoned house where once lived a family of 4, a mother, father, and their 2 children, who left this home forever. Looking at this house makes you realize how empty and lonely life can be sometimes. So let's begin today's video. In the very center of the city stands a forgotten house, hidden behind walls that have faded into the surrounding neighborhood. Trees have covered it completely, and silence now lives here. This house was once a nest of 2 lovers, who built it with great care and affection. It was constructed in 1898, and soon after, John began living here with his wife, sharing a life full of love. Within these walls, love seemed to bloom, and after some time, the couple was blessed with 2 children, making the warmth and happiness of this home grow even more. Their neighbors lived with them in great love and harmony. Among their 2 children, one would often stand by the window and call out cheerfully to people passing by, and everyone adored that little voice. But suddenly, sorrow struck their happy home. John fell seriously ill, and soon after he passed away, leaving behind his wife alone to raise their 2 young children. After John's death, the shadow of illness never left the house. Not long after, his wife also fell sick, and she too passed away. Now the 2 siblings were left alone in that once beautiful home. The laughter, the memories, and the echoes of their parents began to fade away. As time went on, they grew older, but misfortune struck again. One of the brothers became ill and also passed away. The last remaining sibling could not bear the memories of his parents and brother. He locked the doors of the house and began living in silence, cut off from the world. His health worsened until illness took away the strength of his legs, leaving him completely paralyzed. Lying helpless inside the same walls that once echoed with love and laughter, his condition grew worse, until finally, he too passed away. Now no one lives in that house, but everything remains exactly as it was. The furniture they used, the things they kept, and the memories they left behind. Today's video has been taken from the TPR Bex channel. You can visit their channel to watch the rest of their amazing videos as well. If you look at the upper window, this is where the little boy used to stand, calling out to his friends with joy. Now we're trying to find a way to open the door and go inside. Only then can we show you the true condition of this abandoned house. At the entrance, there's a notice stating that the bank has seized the property. As we step inside, the smell is unbearable, extremely foul and heavy, unlike anything we've ever experienced before. This was once a house filled with love and warmth, where people lived happily and cared deeply for each other. But today, that awful smell stands as a painful reminder that a place without people, no matter how beautiful, soon turns lifeless and impossible to live in. Inside the house, there was also an old-fashioned TV screen, a reminder of the days when this home was full of life. The terrible smell, however, was actually coming from old cat food scattered around the rooms. The entire house seemed to be covered in it, and cat fur was spread all over the floor and furniture. It looked as if the cat that once lived here had either died or somehow escaped. In this footage, it also seems that there's some bread lying on the table, completely spoiled and covered in mold. It looks like the last surviving sibling had tried to arrange some food for himself, a small effort to keep life going in the emptiness. But how could he have known that soon even this house, once filled with love and laughter, would lose its last heartbeat and fall into complete silence forever? On the wall of the house hangs a large wall clock, not just a timepiece, but a silent witness to every moment this family once lived. One can only imagine how many times the 4 members of this home looked up at it, planning their days, their laughter echoing through these rooms. In front of it stands a wheelchair, likely used by the last surviving sibling when his legs stopped working, perhaps the very last time he tried to move through the house. The smell here is overwhelming because where there are no people left, decay takes over. Yet scattered around the room are action toys, still neatly placed as if waiting for their owners to return. It feels as though the boys who lived here once loved these toys dearly, and their parents must have bought them with so much affection and care. These small objects, the toys, the shoes, the scattered memories, all whisper the same story. That once, this house was full of life, laughter, and love. In one corner of the house, there's a small room filled with things that remind you of the children who once lived here. Their presence still felt in every corner. A little farther ahead, there's a pair of shoes, surprisingly still in good condition, as if someone had just taken them off and would return any moment to wear them again. As they moved further inside, they found some old pictures of the cat, and even family photographs from happier times. The cat, sadly, is no longer alive, but her story connects deeply with the family's past, and we'll share more about that as the video continues. While exploring, they reached a storeroom filled with a strong smell of cat food. A go-kart was lying there too, covered in dust and forgotten. It seemed that during the chaos when the bank asked them to seal the house, the family had accidentally left their cat behind. Later, when they finally returned to look for her, they found the cat lifeless. Yes, the same cat that was once like a part of their family. Now, let's continue with the rest of the story. They were leaving in such a hurry that they forgot almost everything: their wallet, glasses, and many of their personal belongings. As I moved toward the PC area, I can still see their toys, teddy bear, mini cars, and so much more, all lying there just as they left them, untouched and frozen in time. It feels as if the family had simply stepped out for a moment, but never returned. Spider webs hang from the ceilings. The kitchen looks as though it's been untouched for centuries, frozen in time. The utensils, still lying in place, seem to have been waiting for someone who never returned. This abandoned home holds a great untold story within its walls, once so familiar, so full of warmth, but now familiar to no one at all. In one dark corner of the house, many old utensils were lying scattered. No one knows who last used them or when. There were also jars of spices now covered in layers of dust and time. But instead of giving off a pleasant aroma, they released a rotten, foul smell so strong that it was hard to breathe inside. It felt as though time had stopped here. Everything left just as it was, slowly decaying, yet still telling the story of the memories that once lived in this house. As we move up the stairs, right in front of us, we spot an old gun, a relic from the past, a reminder of the time when this area was surrounded by dense forests and wild animals. Nearby, there's also a rock shelf covered with antique frames, holding the old photographs of the family, pictures of their little children, their parents, and the beautiful life they once shared in this very house. A little further ahead, we come across a room filled with scattered books, pictures, and clothes lying all around. It looks as if the people who once lived here left in a hurry, leaving behind the things that once told the story of their daily lives, their reading habits, their memories, and their presence that still seems to linger in the air. Yes, as we move a little further, we come across an old-style monitor. Yes, what you're seeing in this scene right now, this is a vintage computer monitor. Back in those days, only about 2% of people had one, while 99% did not. And this family was among those few. It shows that they once lived a comfortable and well-settled life, enjoying the small luxuries of their time. But who could have known that soon, tragedy was waiting just ahead in their story. As we move a little further, we come across a toilet completely filled with trash, so full and dirty that it was almost impossible to breathe inside. There wasn't even a place to step properly. The entire floor was wet and sticky. Even my socks got soaked because of the mess on the ground. All around, there were tons of empty cans and bottles, giving the impression that the person who once lived here used to drink frequently. The sight of that place clearly showed how much this home had fallen into decay, once full of life, now lost to neglect and loneliness. Up ahead, we find another 20-inch TV, and from this part of the house it becomes clear that these people were huge book lovers. Everywhere you look, there are toys, books, shelves, and soft sofas, all still in surprisingly good condition. The house is filled with teddy bears, storybooks, and decorations, showing how much warmth and care once lived here. But one thing truly stands out: the sheer number of books. Even without being opened, they fill the rooms completely. Wherever you turn your eyes, there are books upon books upon books, proof that this family truly loved reading. And hey, if you're still watching the video and haven't subscribed yet, come on, hit that subscribe button. Making videos like this takes a lot of hard work, so your support really means a lot. As I move further inside, I can see that the cupboard near the gun holds many old items, some quite large. On the left side of the cupboard, there are dolls, soft toys, and even a guitar. This clearly shows that the person who lived here was a fan of music, and the guitar in particular seems to have been very special to them. It's another small piece of evidence of how much care and passion this family once poured into their home. This house still holds countless things that sing the songs of love once shared here. Every corner speaks of a family that lived with deep affection, collecting beautiful memories along the way. But now, this home has become one of those places people fear to visit. There must have been a time when relatives longed to come here, to spend time together, to laugh and share stories. And yet we wonder, where do such families go? Where do the first cousins, second cousins, and all those close bonds disappear to when death, sickness, or sorrow strike? In the basement of this house, there were things that showed how prosperous and lively this family once was. An enormous library, a collection of cassettes and DVDs, and so many signs of joy and entertainment. These people were truly filled with love, but sadly, life turned its face away from them far too soon. The basement of the house is filled with so many different things that it feels as if the people who once lived here were always busy creating or doing something. It also makes you think, in such homes, how much effort mothers put in, carefully organizing and maintaining every single thing with love. But now this is a house without a mother, without a father, and its condition speaks volumes. You can still see traces of how well it was built: proper ventilation, a well-designed drainage system, and thoughtful planning in every corner. This home was made with immense love and care, especially for the children, for whom every little item had been collected with affection. Now, only spiderwebs and silence remain. It's been just a few short years, yet the house feels as if centuries have passed since life last breathed within its walls. That's why we should nurture our relationships, keep them alive, so that even after we are gone, people still remember us with love. In the basement, there's an old washing machine, along with various cleaning supplies and other household items, all lying exactly where they were left. It feels as if the last surviving sibling, when nearing his final days, left everything untouched, unable to continue with daily life. Perhaps his illness had grown so severe that he couldn't even eat for several days. Looking at some of these objects, one can't help but feel that his death may have come from hunger and thirst, in complete loneliness, with no one to visit or care for him. When there's no one left to come or go, no family, no connection, such an end almost seems inevitable. That's why houses like this, once full of life, laughter, and love, later become known as ghost houses, where only memories and silence remain. According to reports from the neighbors, the last surviving sibling spent his final days in a nursing home, where he eventually passed away. It's said that he had tried to take his own life several times before being moved there for care. And that brings us to the end of our story, a tale of love, loss, and loneliness that once filled this house with life and later left it in silence. So, how did you find this story? Do let us know your thoughts in the comment box below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this.